The Eastern Front of World War II was a theater of unparalleled brutality and devastation. From the icy plains of Russia to the rubble-strewn streets of Stalingrad, a different kind of war was being fought. Millions of soldiers and civilians found themselves locked in a desperate struggle for survival. Here, amidst the horrors of the Eastern Front, emerged stories of extraordinary courage and sacrifice. Men and women, ordinary citizens thrust into extraordinary circumstances, rose to become unlikely heroes. Their stories, often overshadowed by the sheer scale of the conflict, offer a glimpse into the indomitable spirit of those who fought and died in this forgotten theater of war. The vastness of Russia, with its unforgiving winters and scorched earth tactics, presented unique challenges for both sides. The German blitzkrieg, so effective in the West, faltered against the tenacity of the Red Army and the harsh realities of the Eastern Front. It was a war of attrition, a grinding conflict that demanded not only military prowess, but also an unyielding spirit. The Soviet Union, caught off guard by the initial German onslaught, relied heavily on the courage and resilience of its people. The Great Patriotic War, as it was known in the Soviet Union, became a struggle for national survival. Every citizen, from factory worker to farmer, was called upon to contribute to the war effort. This essay explores the stories of some of the lesser-known heroes of the Eastern Front, individuals who demonstrated extraordinary bravery and selflessness in the face of unimaginable adversity. Their stories, often lost in the vast narrative of the war, deserve to be told and remembered. They remind us of the human cost of conflict and the enduring power of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable hardship. The Soviet war effort, particularly in those dark early years, was fueled by the heroism of ordinary people. Faced with the very real threat of annihilation, Soviet citizens responded with a ferocity that surprised even their enemies. Men and women, young and old, took up arms to defend their homeland. They fought not just for their country, but for their families, their homes, their very way of life. These were not seasoned soldiers, but farmers, factory workers, teachers, students, ordinary people driven by an extraordinary love for their homeland. They endured unimaginable hardships, freezing temperatures, dwindling supplies, and constant enemy fire, yet they fought on with unwavering determination. Their stories, often untold and unrecognized, are testaments to the human spirit's capacity for resilience. They remind us that heroism is not confined to history books or grand narratives, but can be found in the everyday acts of courage and sacrifice made by ordinary people facing extraordinary circumstances. These acts of individual heroism, multiplied 1,000,000 times over, formed the bedrock of the Soviet defense. They were the invisible force that slowed the German advance, that bought precious time for the Red Army to regroup, and ultimately turned the tide of the war. Theirs is a legacy of courage, resilience, and unwavering love for one's homeland. One such hero was Vasily Zaitsev, a name that would become synonymous with the horrors of the Battle of Stalingrad. Born in the Ural Mountains, Zaitsev was a skilled hunter before the war. He joined the Soviet Navy in 1937 and found himself thrust into the heart of the fighting at Stalingrad in 1942. It was here, amidst the rubble and ruin of the besieged city, that Zaitsev's legend was born. Armed with his trusty Mosin Nagant rifle, a simple but effective weapon, Zaitsev became a nightmare for the German soldiers entrenched in the ruins of Stalingrad. He possessed an uncanny ability to blend into the urban landscape, turning the rubble and debris into his own personal hunting ground. His exploits, recounted in his own words and later popularized in books and films, became the stuff of legend. He was credited with over 200 confirmed kills, earning him the title Hero of the Soviet Union. His most famous duel, a battle of wits against a highly decorated German sniper sent to eliminate him, became a symbol of the Red Army's tenacity and determination. Zaitsev's story is not just about his impressive kill count, it is about the psychological impact he had on both sides of the conflict. He instilled fear in the hearts of the German soldiers while serving as a beacon of hope for the beleaguered citizens of Stalingrad. Lyudmila Pavlichenko, another legendary figure of the Eastern Front, defied expectations and shattered stereotypes. Before the war, she was a history student at Kiev University. When the Nazis invaded, she put her studies aside and enlisted in the Red Army, becoming one of the over 800,000 women who served in the Soviet armed forces during the war. Pavlichenko was assigned to the 25th Rifle Division and quickly distinguished herself as a skilled and deadly sniper. She participated in the defense of Odessa and Sevastopol, earning the nickname Lady Death for her exceptional marksmanship. Pavlichenko's tally of 309 confirmed kills, including 36 enemy snipers, made her one of the most successful snipers in history. Her story transcends the battlefield. Pavlichenko was chosen for a goodwill tour of the United States and Canada in 1942, becoming the first Soviet citizen to be received by a U.S. president. She met with Eleanor Roosevelt and addressed crowds, urging the Allies to open a second front in Europe. Pavlichenko's story highlights the crucial role women played in the Soviet war effort. They served as snipers, pilots, tank drivers, medics, and in countless other roles, challenging traditional gender roles and proving their worth in the crucible of combat.